Hi, I'm Steph, and I co-host a podcast called Discovering Our Scars, and I co-host this with my good friend Beth Demme, and we are about to record our 119th episode, which will be our 3-year anniversary of recording this podcast. So I wanted to make a little bit of a behind the scenes of what the process looks like into recording a podcast. So now that first step is we usually plan the day before, and so that's today, and we usually do it over Zoom. So I'm logging into Zoom and Beth is right here, and we basically just start kind of talking about what the episode is going to be about. We usually have an idea of what the episode is going to be. We've kind of we future plan kind of 3 to 6 months out of episode ideas. So this particular day, we didn't know exactly what we were going to talk about, but I brought up the fact that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we decided we really wanted to do an episode based on that fact. And so that's what we decided to do for our 119th episode. And we just kind of work out what kind of conversation we want to have. We write some talking points out, and the talking points are things that we might ask each other to kind of prompt the conversation. And if we're stuck on talking points or we're done with our talking points, we will write our questions for reflection. And these are questions that we ask our audience at the very end of the episode that relates to the episode and kind of gives them a chance to answer these questions for themselves and kind of relate to the episode for themselves. And the greyhounds are always by my side, sleeping away while I plan episodes. Oh, so helpful. Actually, it is. It's very helpful for my mental health to have my dogs around, so I'm very appreciative that they just like to lounge and hang. The episode is planned, so tomorrow we will record the episode. So here is the podcast studio, which is also my office for editing. I have all my tech equipment. I have the closet has my kayaking and camping equipment, so it's a very multi-purpose room. So before Beth comes over, I go ahead and set up the room a little bit. So I have 2 chairs that I set up and get our table all ready. And this is our podcasting board. So our mics are plugged into this, and we can also plug this into a computer. We have sound effects on it. So it's a really cool device. And I always got to get our water set up. This is Liquid Death. It's literally just water, but it's our favorite water to have during the podcast recording. Then I turn on our Rodecaster Pro and get the levels basically set, and then when Beth comes over, I'll set them. And we both use an iPad that has a numbers document that we share, and it has all of our notes on it, so we can look at that during the episode. Got to set up my phone, obviously have it in airplane mode, and the dogs are just chill until Beth comes over. Woohoo, Beth is here. So she has a code to get in my house, so she just comes on in. The dogs get really excited. And we start to just chat kind of about the day so far, and the dogs will smell Beth and enjoy their time with Beth. I haven't seen Beth for a couple weeks. She was out of town, so the dogs definitely missed seeing their friend.
I hope I smell delicious. I hope I do. I hope I smell delicious. She's gonna lick you.
While we get set up, the dogs just chill out, and then we will start to record. So I did make a little message here that I added, "Are you recording?" Because sometimes we're not.
Welcome to the Discovering Our Scars podcast,
Where we share personal experiences so we can learn from each other. I'm Steph.
and I'm Beth. So this is May.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording in May, and we'll release this episode in May. And it turns out that May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes,
Yes.
and it's also our anniversary month.
It is. Happy anniversary, Steph. Yeah.
3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
3 years, although, part of that was
COVID. So it's been 5 years.
It's been forever.
5 years. And Beth is a fidgeter. Nothing wrong with that, but I did buy her this special fidget device for her to play with during the recordings, and it happens to match her nail color right now, so that's pretty cool. And I'll put a link in the description to all of the recording equipment we use if you're interested in that. And I'll also put a link to the finalized episode for this podcast so you can hear that in all its glory. Is because there's no easy answer to say, someone engages in self-injury, this is this or this is that. Do you think this podcast is beneficial for your mental health?
Absolutely, I do. In fact, I have to, like, as a pastor, I have to report once a year about, like, how are you engaging in self-care?
Yeah.
And for the last 2 years, I have listed this podcast. Like, I stay self-aware, and this is one of my tools for doing that.
I love that. Yeah, and that's something that I strive to keep working on my stuff so that I don't accumulate the pile. Because I had that pile. I had that pile for years and years and years and didn't start dealing with it until I was in my 20s. So I do want to say that I have been filming this episode.
You have? I had no idea.
This has been our first episode that I think we've recorded like this.
Right.
3 years. So.
And number 4, what can you do or start or continue to begin processing and discovering your own scars?
Discovering Our Scars podcast is produced by Beth Demme and Stephanie Kostopoulos. Thanks for joining us. And when we're done recording, the dogs get a nice stretch because, you know, they've been busy. And I'll end by shutting down the Rodecaster Pro here. And I have a dust cover just to keep all the dust off of it. And then I'll just take out the micro SD card and import the file into my computer and make sure it's nice and backed up. So my filing system is just to create a folder with the number of the episode, and then I'll drag the file over off of the micro SD card, and then it'll be saved to my computer. And then tomorrow I will start to edit the episode in Logic Pro on my Mac. And that is the making of a Discovering Our Scars podcast episode. Thanks for joining and have a great day.